Welcome to the channel Frugal Money Saver. My name is Emmy, my husband is Paul, and we're an early retirement, debt and mortgage-free couple living in the state of New York, and we are so happy you have joined us today. Our channel basically just shows you how to have a full, abundant life while spending less money. Today is Tuesday, which means it's viewer's choice or challenge. And a big shout out goes to Gail, Carol, and Janine, who all asked if we would please show how we cook and prepare our beetroots. We're also going to take you outside for just a minute to the garden. And then I want to share with you an item I was given from a complete stranger at a flea market that was simply amazing to me. From the kindness of strangers, an abundance of blessings do come. I also want to talk about how we can put the brakes on chasing the lies that society and other people and social media throw at us hour after hour, day after day. So we've got a full video. Sit back, relax, and let's get right to it. The first thing I do want to preface the video with is, on Friday's video, we did a segment on planting perennials over annuals. And one of the perennials we were planting was foxglove. And I know in the video I had said to you, always check with any type of plant you are planting whether it is toxic or not. Foxglove is a toxic plant, so I am just letting you know that. Always do your research before you plant anything so you, your pets, children, and those around you can always be safe. I have a super freebie alert for you. From July 10th through July 23rd, CVS is giving one free product a day to you for free. All you have to do is download the CVS app and then put the word in free under deals and the item will come up. Click it, go into the store, have them scan your card or scan your phone, and that freebie is yours. They have some great ones. Some days it's bandages, like a Band-Aid. Another day it was aloe vera lotion. Another day I saw it was popcorn. There's going to be free dental floss, free trail mix. So just a heads up, a new free item will appear. Click it and it's yours when you go into the store. This is a great little way to pick up on some free fun stock up items. The first thing I want to do is get into the kitchen and show you how to make some amazing roasted beets with your slow cooker. So I'm going to turn the camera around. Let's get in the kitchen. The first thing you're going to want to do is scrub the beets when you're ready to cook them. And I mean scrub them because they have a lot of dirt. Paul, would you just show them what we're leaving on the beet?
Well, we're leaving the tops cut about an inch from the beet, and we're leaving the roots. We're going to scrub the roots all the way down. This way the beet is sealed in its skin, so this way when you cook it, the juice doesn't leak out. If you were to cut this off, that would create a leak in the beet, and you want that juice to stay in the beet while it roasts.
We have our beautiful washed beets here. This is just a little bit of good quality olive oil. And I am going to take it and I am going to rub each beet with the olive oil and then place it on a piece of tin foil. Now we're cooking these in the slow cooker, which is great. It doesn't heat up your house in the summertime, and they come out roasted beautifully from the crock pot, if you can believe it. So I'm just going to cover these all with olive oil and put them together. The original recipe said to put each one in a piece of foil, but I think that's a lot of unnecessary work. So there we go. We have everything on here. Make sure, we're going to rearrange them. Make sure your ends are sticking toward the middle if possible, so we don't have anything sticking out. And then just seal your edges And this is our first packet. I'm going to do 2 packets. So here's our first. We have both packages in of our beets. I'm going to turn my crock pot on high, cover them, and we're going to let them cook for about 3 to 4 hours. And then we'll check them to make sure the largest ones are tender. That's all there is to it. We're going to have some beautiful roasted beets. I just removed these carefully from the crock pot. When you first open up the foil, be careful because the steam comes right out. And then I used tongs and picked each beet out. You're going to want to put them on a tray with a lip because, as you can see, there's juices coming out. It does stain, so you want to use something that it's not going to matter if the juice gets on it. And what I did to make sure they were done was I took a very big beet and the knife went right through it, as you could see. Now these are way too hot to handle right now, so we're just going to let them cool. But you can see as some of the skin is already peeling back, and as it cools, then I will put something on my hands, maybe plastic baggies or something. I will remove all the skin at that point, but you can see how this is just peeling right off. So we're going to let this cool for right now. Now I'm just going to take the ends off, the top and the bottom. And as you can see, the skin comes off effortlessly. How beautiful is this? We didn't have to turn our oven on, and we were able to do it right in the crock pot. So I'm just going to put them in a glass bowl here. Here are our beautiful beets, all peeled and cooled. Now we're going to show you what we're going to do with some of them. Those beets turned out fork tender, sweet, and delicious. Beets can be eaten any way you want, just like that, cut up and heated with a little butter. There's just so many ways to cook beets. But we're going to turn the camera around again, and we're going to show you how we make refrigerator pickled beets. Takes literally about 10 minutes to make, and they really are so darn yummy. These are not shelf stable. They have to be refrigerated. These are not canned. They need to be kept in the refrigerator. Here is one of Paul's absolute favorite recipes I make. Here you go. We are going to take our delicious roasted beets and we are going to make some refrigerator pickled beets. So very, very delicious. Now these are not shelf stable. We're not canning them for the shelf. These have to be kept in the refrigerator, but they are so delicious. So the first thing we're going to need 3/4 cup white vinegar, and that's what I prefer using. I have a cup of water. I have a 1/4 cup of sugar. I've got some pink Himalayan sea salt, a little ground cinnamon, a little black pepper, and a little Dijon mustard. It did call for dry mustard, but I don't have that, and I think just a little bit of this will just be fine. We're going to combine these ingredients, and I'll show you, and we're going to boil this on the stove. We're going to add our 1 cup water, our 3/4 cup vinegar, our 1/4 cup sugar, and we're going to taste this after we combine it because it may need more vinegar, it may need more sugar. I always add just a little dash of cinnamon in our pickled beets. I just think it tastes so good. And I'm going to add a little fresh ground black pepper. Now it calls for a teaspoon of kosher salt. I'm going to use less. Just a little bit of salt for us. Tiny bit of Dijon mustard. And I'm going to whisk this all together. And just give this a good whisk. We're going to bring it to a boil to make sure the sugar is dissolved and the salt is dissolved and all those flavors come together. The little beets we're keeping whole because they're a perfect size. The bigger ones I'm going to cut up. So we're going to do that now while our brine is coming to a boil. This has come to a boil. We're turning it off now. We just tasted it and it is perfect. What did you think, Paul?
Yeah, no, that's great. Don't add any more.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It is a perfect combination of that savory and sweet. So we are going to let this cool now because you don't want to take this boiling hot liquid and pour it in a glass jar. So we're just going to let it cool just a little bit. So this brine makes enough for about 4 nice size beets. This is a quart glass jar. I told you this wide mouth funnel has so many uses. This is just so perfect. Now we're going to take our brine that has cooled just a little bit. This is a perfect amount for a quart jar. As you can see, you want to make sure the beets are completely covered in the brine, which they are. These are going to be so good. We're just going to let them sit for a minute to cool completely before we put them in the refrigerator, but not long. Look at this. Perfect jar of pickled beets. I am so excited. Actually, we're making a second jar right now because we just think these are going to be phenomenal with the roasted beets we made. So we're going to let this sit for a minute and then pop it in the refrigerator. I will link the original recipe down below, but I think this is going to be a total winner. What do we do with these? You got to let them sit for at least a day or two in the refrigerator. Definitely. We add them to salads. We have them as a side dish with a meal. I make a salad out of these and goat cheese. It is so delicious. So there are so many things you can do with pickled beets. Here we go. So excited. Our pickled beets all done and ready for the refrigerator. Again, they are not shelf stable. They do have to be refrigerated. I am encouraging you to try those beets. They are fork tender yet not mushy at all. They're firm, just delicious. So give that recipe a try. I just want to take a minute now to talk to you about chasing the lies that society throws at us. I know a lot of you who watch our channel have been frugal for a very long time. And I know some of you are just starting your frugal journey. And I think this applies to everybody. Right now, all I'm hearing on TV, on social media, everywhere is Amazon Prime Day. That's when Amazon comes out and they give you all these special deals at low prices, and this is the time to buy, and this is the perk of being an Amazon Prime member. But what can happen is we can get on a site like that and just overspend, blow our budget on things we may not even need. So many people look to others for their self-worth. They think by having bigger and better, people are going to like them more, or they'll be more prestigious, or they'll be more influential. Those are all lies, and we don't chase those lies. We don't believe those lies. Paul and I have talked about this many times on the channel, but I think right now, with social media being what it is, and you can see people's grand vacation on tropical islands and faraway destinations and all these wonderful places, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we should never come out of our budget or live outside our means to be chasing the lies of society. Never, ever, please don't think your worth is going to go up if you vacation in Hawaii next month, or your worth is going to go up if you buy a certain kind of car or wear a certain designer brand or carry a designer purse. Guess what? You're you. Stop believing and chasing the lies of what society tells you. And this is a gentle reminder. Paul and I are no different than any of you are. We love beautiful things, but you can't jump out of your comfort zone of financial spending to be accepted by others, or other people's dreams, or other people's ideas or ideals of what a person of worth is all about. And we all know, as people who are frugal minded, it's not about possessions. Never. Okay? Just a gentle reminder. Now we're going to turn around the camera for just a minute and we're going to get out into the garden and we're going to take a minute. I just want to show you how our mystery plant is doing. Just reassure you that the simple pleasures of life are the greatest and are truly, truly worth the most. Here we go. These are our yellow wax bean plants, and they are doing beautiful. Oh my goodness, look at this row right here. What I wanted you to see is how beautiful these little flowers are that are going to produce the beans. They're pink and white. They have these tiny little faces on them. Remember, let's stop and enjoy the little things. It's what it's all about. Our mystery plant that we have identified as potato, Paul's hoeing right here, that's what you're hearing, is doing amazing. It is getting so big, and I cannot wait to see if we get potatoes out of this. Our horseradish is just out of control. It is so huge this year. Can't wait till the fall when we can harvest it. Here's a tomato plant, if you can see it. It has decided to grow in with my fig trees, and we've just let it grow. Here it is. Look how big and beautiful this tomato plant is. So we'll see if we get any tomatoes. The other day, Paul and I went to a flea market, and while we were at the flea market, I picked up an old book and I was looking at it. It was at somebody's stand, and a gentleman came over to me and he's like, "Do you like it?" Now, this book was in tatters almost. Binding was off, the cover was off, but it looked old. And you know me and anything vintage, I just love it. I picked it up and I was looking at it, and I looked through the pages and I saw it was a cookbook. So the man again said to me, "Do you like the book?" I said, "Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, I love old cookbooks. I'm a vintage cookbook lover," I said. "They're so practical, blah, blah, blah," I told him. He goes, "Well, then that needs to come home with you." And I said, "Oh, no, thank you." I said, "I'm not looking to buy anything. We're just looking today." "No," he said, "that needs to go home with you." And I looked at him. He says, "I want you to take that book home." And I was like, "Please." I said, "No, that's okay." He says, "I wasn't even going to bring that book today," he told me. He said, "And then I just threw it in my car at the last minute." He said, "And when you picked it up," he said, "I knew that book was for you." And I was just like, "Are you kidding?" So I was just so blessed. And I just want to share this book with you. I don't have it. I think it is now one of the oldest cookbooks I own. So that's super exciting. And it was a total blessing gift from a stranger. Money can't buy a generous heart. And whoever this gentleman was, or whoever he is, I didn't get his name. Thank you. Thank you. So let's turn the camera around, take a peek at this. So here it is, the Modern Priscilla Cookbook. I mean, you can see it is in rough shape, but it's absolutely beautiful to me. The person's name, the date, which is February 19th, 1926. And here she signed it, saying that if you were going to borrow it, please return it safely to her. I mean, right there, it's worth its weight in gold. It's the Modern Priscilla Cookbook, 1,000 recipes. It was first printed in 1924, so this looks like the third printing, 1925. So that is just amazing. It has got some great recipes. We're going to be making one next week out of this, but this was a well-loved and well-used cookbook. This page, look at the stains, and this is where this marker was. So I'm wondering what they made on this page, but I just love it. Here's something else I found in the pages. January 19th, 75, grandmother's molasses cookies, and it's all written out. And you know we're going to have to make these at Christmas time because this just sounds so wonderful. The pictures are in black and white. Look at that tablecloth. Oh my goodness. Beautiful table settings. There's pictures throughout, but they are all in black and white, which makes sense because it was the 1920s. This was before the Great Depression, and people were pretty comfortable at that point. Okay, and then I went to the back of the book. Look at how worn. Oh my goodness. So I go to the back of the book and look at this. First of all, the handwriting. Look at how tiny, tiny handwriting. And then what they did, the person who owned the book, was they took all the recipes that used sour milk, buttermilk, or sour cream, which I guess maybe they had an abundance with, or we don't know why, but they wrote down every recipe in this book and over here that used either sour milk, buttermilk, or sour cream. What a treasure this book is. We picked a recipe out to make with you all next week, so stay tuned. I feel like we covered a lot again in this video, but it was so fun for Paul and I to put together, and we hope it was encouraging to you. Today's question of the day: give me an unexpected blessing you have received recently. What is something that has happened and you've been like, wow, this was good? It could be something as going to the store and finding your favorite creamer on clearance, or someone dropping a card in the mail to you, someone bringing you something unexpectedly that they had made extra of, whatever it is. I know if you think something has happened to you, at least in the last week, that you know was a true blessing in its own way, please share that down below, because so much of our frugal journey is the little things, and I say that over and over and over, and it truly is the little things. So thank you for sharing this time with us. Please give this a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Don't forget that comment. We ask you to stay well. We ask you to stay safe. Remember, we love you. And above all, we wish you blessings. We'll see you on Friday. Bye-bye for now. I'm going to add just a little